Hey, welcome back to my channel. I have decided to start reading some of my poems. I started writing poetry when I was very young, and as I got older, my poems began to take on more meaning, sustenance, and they started centering around things that were really important to me, and I finally think I found the ability to write through my heart. One of my dreams is that someday some of my poems are actually converted into lyrics. I get disgusted sometimes how there are lyrics out there that they're so plain, and I don't really understand how they become so popular. But I'm obviously not the one who is supporting all of those artists. Um, Anyways, I really appreciate the artists out there who can add so much deeper meaning to their songs, and they do a wonderful job at expressing it. And they make their audience think about deeper meanings and deeper happenings in life. So the poem that I'm going to read to you is called "The Youth is Power." I wrote this back in 2009. The youth is power, for we have a vision, we have time in our hands, we've got the energy to create a new destiny that speaks truth, for we see it like no other generation has seen it before. We're connected on a grander scale than this world has ever known. And the youth has lived together, even though we've been flocks of a different feather. We've gone to school together, we've made friends with people who our parents, our grandparents, would not accept. The youth has crossed the boundaries that the world has not crossed yet. We already know the vision. It's not about race, color, creed, nor religion. We already can see the beauty in others. We've already made friends with the people of a different color. We've already heard the story of the friend from a different religion. We've already made the friend who was raised in a different land. We've already befriended a soul who was made from a different mold. For the youth have seen it all, and our vision can be the vision if we dare to take the call. For time is on our hands, for wisdom is on our side. We've already seen that the previous generations have fallen aside. For what they saw through their parents' eyes. But what we see is not about sides. For our vision can only be if we dare to teach those who cannot yet see. The political parties that are chosen, the judgments that have been woven, the generations before have not seen what we felt. For my sister, my friend, speaks with a heavy accent, but the wisdom she shares of her people's teachings have taught me to re-examine my own. For my brother, my friend, who grew up on the different side of town, and the life that he lived was filled with many sounds. Sounds of gunfire, screams, sirens, and silence. And he carries his roots with him. And our friendship has helped me to see that what I have been taught really isn't so. For his story is greater than what I heard from the neighbors. What he's felt, they'll never know. That is why I know their judgments are so unreal. They haven't the ability to feel. For his war has now become my battle. And what I've heard from people of my kind, their words just make me rattle. For this man is not who they think he is, and the generations before can't see it as we do now. Because what they were taught came from souls who couldn't see that we are connected to humanity. For the youth knows they've heard a different story, and if you look at our friends, you will see why the youth really can see glory. For language is power, and when the youth begin to speak, the other generations will have to listen. For what we speak are our stories. For if you look at our friends, it will be seen that we've learned to look past the old schemes. For what was taught was wrong, and truth can never be hidden. For the color of your skin, the color of your eyes, the color of your language, the color of your religion, the color of your heritage is just a color. And as far as we can see, we love the variety. For our beauty is greater when we sew together. and the generations before could not see, for their worlds were black and white, but now, wake up, we're in color. So if we speak, we will be heard, for the youth is the future. Our power is stronger than ever, for technology brings us together. And we must dare to speak to the generations who have not yet seen, nor felt, nor heard that the color is grand. For the youth has power, we have time on our hands. If we dare to speak, our presence will be known, for they look to us to feed their souls. And they are inspired by our dreams, for they too once believed. But it's time to teach them new things. For what we've seen, we have felt, we have heard. For our friends come from many lands, and we've been wise enough to see that the color of a man's skin doesn't count for anything. We have to teach the generations who've gone before, for they experienced a different world, but they hear their youthful children because they love us. And because of this love, we might just be able to reach them. For the lack of love is what brought them here. And our pack for love is what can bring them back. For we know the truth, and we know that the old way is out. And we know that it's about time this progress reaches them. For the youth has the power. We are up and coming, and the world will be ours. We must claim it with the power of love, for the love of power has died, and we're about to turn a new tide. We must give it a new vision, for it's time for the revision. And if we dare to stand, we must stand together, for time is on our hands. If we stir the pot, we might just be able to pull this off. For the power we need to transform the seas has to be a strong power. But we're young, our visions are fresh, and we're daring. We're going to put them to a test. For we have time, we have energy, we have life, we have technology. And if you put that together, we might just have a momentum that can reach the mountaintop. For the momentum has finally reached us. For the past lives in us, and the present is with us. The future can be ours, if we dare to take our energy and create a new momentum. For the future belongs to the youth. It always has. Do we dare to take the reins? For if we wake, they will wake, and our vision will be seen. For what the generations before have not yet discovered, we have the power to uncover. We can be the force to help them find the magic key that's been lost in time. The myths have been passed on, the lies that have been shared. We must stand for truth. We must show our friends that we care. For our vision is grand, our souls are old, and what we see in each other, we can teach them to see. For the leaders who have come before, they lived and died preaching the message, and their power and force lives on in us. We must teach it to others. For the youth has the power of time. Let's use it. For our power is greater when the youth stand together. For what we can see could last forever. For what we see, they have not yet seen. But the clock of mankind says it's our time. We must stand together, for the message that we've been taught was taught wrong. We know the other man's story, and we see the bigger picture. If you look at our friends, our story is told. We know that the pack includes a big fold, and we've been asked to share what we've taught each other. For the generations before didn't write the same story, but this time we want them to see the true glory. For the youth has the power to teach the generations who've gone before. For our vision is strong, and we've been given time. We've got time on our hands. The energy we can create will surely be strong. The momentum we tap into will allow the world to see what we've seen all along. If you look at our friends, the youth tell a different story. For the time that we have is time we've been given. We know it's time for the world to be forgiven.